At America Trends, we only talk about what your social media says is trending. So let's get right back at it. We've been talking about it all night. The closest aide to Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, is trending today everywhere. Reports show that she has worked for a radical Muslim journal. Here to discuss, the founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, co-founder of the Muslim Reform Movement, and author of the book, A Battle for the Soul of Islam, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. I am so thrilled you're back with us tonight, Doctor.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me, Barry.
Oh, it's a thrill. So let's talk about it. Tell me, what is the Journal of Muslim Minority Affairs? Is it as bad as people say?
Well, this is a journal based out of Saudi Arabia and works closely with the Wahhabi fundamentalist sect there, which not only controls the judiciary, but the legal system and also the educational system. And if you truly want to talk about the founding fathers of groups like ISIS and other militant sects, it is a very dark form of Islam, which would be nothing but a tribe in Saudi Arabia had it not been for the billions of petro cash, and that's why I call it petro-Islam. So this journal is one of many journals, a part of the propaganda arm of Wahhabi Islam. And Huma's mother and her brothers are co-editors, and it's a family operation. It has long been there. She not only is associated with the journal by having her name on the masthead for, I think, 11 years, but surprise, surprise, Secretary Clinton happened to visit a school in Saudi Arabia that her mother was affiliated with. And the bottom line is that their response will be, well, these are our allies, etc., so these things get muddied. At the end of the day, this journal has put out ideas repeatedly, calling 9/11 a false flag operation. It had repeatedly looked upon women's rights as secondary, tertiary, if not fourth-class citizens in which they don't have right to bodily autonomy. And basically enforcing a lot of what is normative practice of Islam in Saudi Arabia through this journal that really looks at a certain form of Sharia, which is the Wahhabi sect Sharia that's based out of the Shafi'i school of thought.
I'm listening to you, an Islamic scholar, and I got to be honest, I'm stunned. Let me connect the dots and tell me if I've got this right. Saudi Arabia, that produced most of the hijackers that destroyed downtown New York on September 11th, is also the funder of this group that produces this journal. The mom, the brothers, and Huma. Huma worked there and was on the masthead for 12 years. Hillary goes into the White House as First Lady, reaches into this journal, and hires this young lady to be her chief assistant, and then goes to the State Department, and Huma comes with her, and they've worked together ever since, I think since 2008. So it's no secret, it wasn't just discovered. She's working for a front that's supporting a Sharia-based philosophical, I guess, movement that is completely contrary to everything the U.S. Constitution says. Hillary Clinton very well might be the next president of the United States. Huma Abedin might very well be the chief of staff to the most powerful person on the planet. And we just figured this out? Hello?
Well, the way you put it, it seems sort of hysterical, but remember, Barry, the Saudis are our allies. Remember, they funded both parties' presidential libraries. The Clinton Foundation itself has received millions upon millions from the Saudi government, from Qatar, which has the same type of Islamist ideology that has been responsible for the spread of the Muslim Brotherhood. So in many ways, while the Saudis have been the ideological font that have produced groups like Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood, and others, they also claim to be against them because they don't like grassroots populist movements of political Islam and Sharia states. They prefer the corporate, familial-based political Islam and Islamic State. And when it comes to Western politics, we've had an addiction to oil. We have a number of reasons why many folks on both sides of the aisle have been conflicted and hypocritical, but mostly on the left, especially because they claim to be feminists, they claim to be about gay rights, individual rights, bodily autonomy, and yet when they work with these groups, I mean, look at the mosque that President Obama went to in February. It was a mosque that separates men and women. Women can't even, in the Islamic Society of Baltimore, they can't even come to the ground level to go to prayer. So this is all part of that same pool of radicalism. While the Saudis, it's sort of like the Colombian drug distributors that claim they don't know why there's all this drug violence on the streets of America and all over the world, when all they're trying to do is just make a clean living from distributing cocaine. And the cocaine here is the political Islam of these journals. And Huma, the most difficult thing about Huma, Barry, is that she's not on record personally. So it makes it one order, there's one step removed there where it's hard to find her actually saying some of these radical things. Her name's on the masthead, but all she needs to do is come out and say, I have nothing to do with my mom's ideas. I condemn Wahhabism. I'm working against the Brotherhood. The Clinton Foundation now is claiming to step away from its donations, when in fact, if you look what the Saudis got for that money is groups like NoCeilings.org, which is a feminist group that is part of the Clinton Foundation, has a big hole in the world, which is the Arab world, where they don't do that much work. No Ceilings about women's rights does work in Africa, does work in China and elsewhere, but very little work in the Middle East, and that's what they get for that money.
I'm so blown away, Dr. Jasser, by what you're telling America right now. If this can go on in public, where maybe the next president of the United States is hiring somebody with this background, and billions of these petrodollars are flowing into America every day on college campuses, on think tanks, on literally publications from coast to coast, how much of this Wahhabism philosophy of Islam, which you're fighting against as a good American, as a Muslim, how much is there? How pervasive is this? Is it literally throughout society today?
Well, it dominates our Muslim community. Somewhere, no one's really studied it clearly, but they say somewhere between 70 and 90% of mosques have some connection to Wahhabi ideas. And the bottom line is that reformists can't even get, look at, for example, here in Phoenix, there's billboards all over, you've seen them in Texas and elsewhere, that say ISIS sucks, and then they have a hashtag about real Muslims, supposedly, and many see it, oh, these are moderate Muslims. Well, it's funded by Sound Vision. Sound Vision's president and chairman is based in Chicago, very close to the Obama administration. They co-funded the Parliament of World Religions with the Kingdom's Institute for Interfaith Dialogue out of Saudi Arabia. The guy who runs Sound Vision that did this billboard, which is a facade, yes, they might condemn ISIS, no different than the Saudi royal family does, but the bottom line is it's all about funding. And until we start to fund in a muscular way reformist, pro-liberty, anti-Islamist, anti-monarchy,
we gotta leave it there. Yep. I want to have you back. Please, America, follow this man on Twitter. You need to hear him. Coming up next, my friend Lisa Benson, my bestie.